Speaker, the Liberals killed the Northern Gateway pipeline project, making Canada more dependent on the U.S. Now this Prime Minister is putting on a big show, but he's setting up another process for a pipeline to fail with new hurdles and hoops, and worst of all, a massive increase to the industrial carbon tax. The proposed pipeline is never going to happen because this Prime Minister is giving a veto to the BC Premier. But what is guaranteed to happen after April 1st is Albertans will pay a very real and very massive hike to the industrial carbon tax. Why is this Prime Minister more intent on hiking carbon taxes instead of building pipelines?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
It's perplexing to us over here why they keep talking about some supposed veto by the BC Premier when, in fact, of course, we will deal with the people and the province of British Columbia. But what they don't mention is the signature of the Premier of Alberta on a memorandum of understanding that commits us to consulting provinces, consulting First Nations, building out clean and renewable technologies, an electric grid, and building and creating opportunity for young Western Canadians for generations to come.
For Regina Capel.
It doesn't matter how many signatures they put on that MOU if they give a giant veto stamp to the British Columbia Premier, Mr. Speaker. Instead of just repealing all the Liberal leave-it-in-the-ground laws that killed energy projects, this Prime Minister has just unveiled a new process that is designed to fail. He's giving an unconstitutional veto to the BC Premier. He's forcing Albertans to pay billions to put air into the ground, and now he's hiking the industrial carbon tax. Every time the Liberals hike those carbon taxes, everything gets more expensive. Why is this government forcing through a massive hike to the carbon tax instead of just getting out of the way?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
As Canadians watch this debate unfold, Mr. Speaker, they will take note of lines like putting air into the ground. In fact, we are putting carbon into the ground. We are taking it out of the atmosphere, making our production of energy resources less carbon intensive and putting carbon, in fact, underground, therefore committing Canada in the fight against climate change. Mr. Speaker, it's very interesting, and I know Canadians will be following this debate with great interest, and the slogans of the Conservatives will be something that they won't forget.
Honourable Member for Ponoka-Didsbury.
Mr. Speaker, the current Prime Minister was the advisor to the last Prime Minister, and under his watch, no private company was able to build a pipeline. Not TC Energy, not Enbridge, not Kinder Morgan, just the Canadian taxpayer. Now we learn that Alberta must initiate a carbon capture project via the Pathways Alliance in exchange for a pipeline. And who has a significant stake in Entropy, one of the leading Pathways carbon capture companies? Well, it's none other than the Prime Minister's company, Brookfield.
Oh, wow.
Which begs the question, is the only way anything can be built in Canada is if Brookfield profits?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the owners of the Pathways project for carbon capture and storage are in fact 6 oil and gas companies, all of whom operate in the province of Alberta and employ thousands of...
The Honourable Member for Ponoka-Didsbury.
We know that the Prime Minister has been meeting with Brookfield executives behind closed doors. This is the same Prime Minister who served as board chair of Brookfield Asset Management. And now we learn that he won't allow Alberta to build a pipeline unless it initiates a $16.5 billion carbon capture project where Brookfield profits. The taxes and royalties from a pipeline should be used for doctors, nurses, roads, schools, police, housing, and securing our country. But instead, billions will now pour into the coffers of corporate giants and Liberal insiders, including, of course, Brookfield. How much revenue does the Prime Minister have to divert to his own company before he demands that Canada just simply change its name to Brookfield?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I think the members across, and maybe in particular those members from the province of Alberta, really underestimate how strongly their constituents feel about having a plan to reduce our carbon emissions, reduce the intensity of our energy production, to, yes, lead the world in carbon capture and storage, to build an energy grid throughout Western Canada that makes sure renewable energy gets across Western Canada, and most importantly, they underestimate the hopes of the parents of young Albertans who want to see a future for them in that province, and that's what this thing does today.